Okay, I am actually here. I am very nervous. I don't know why. Karl, Time Warp Iceland, ég mættur við lokunarpost.
Hei, Mattikir.
Hei.
Ég átti að tilkynna hérna.
Hvað heitir þið?
Karl.
Var það komið?
Það er ég hérna út líka. Kæra þakkir.
I used every ounce of the privilege granted to me on the day I became a middle-aged white man to gain access to the most exclusive area in Iceland. Why? Well, because there are so many things I want to share about the situation in Grindavik, but I couldn't get the footage to tell my story effectively.
In the past, the Civil Protection Agency has issued a limited number of press passes to areas like this, with the stipulation that the content it catches is shared to a common pool anybody can use. There is no such stipulation here, but there are a very limited number of press passes. 50 to be exact.
And if you are in the media, you're only permitted to shoot footage for news content. YouTube and other social media platforms aren't classified as news sites in Iceland.
After a very long back and forth with the Civil Protection Office, I finally was granted access to this exclusion zone. They did not make it easy, and rightly so. I mean, there's a good reason. I'm wearing a Tetra radio, a gas meter that cost like 180,000 kronas, which is about $1,500 or something, and this vest, and I have a helmet in the car, and I have a gas mask. How sexy is that?
And when it came to it, the only reason I got this far was because I could show that I have been providing tourists with somewhat valuable information for a couple of years now, and I can be annoying as when I'm on a mission. I'm sorry, Almannavarnir, I'll never email you again for a while. I wasn't really prepared for what I saw while I was there. I had a whole script prepared, but I had to scrap it for the most part. Witnessing the destruction around the town firsthand was not only humbling, but it also filled me with kind of a sadness I've not really felt before.
I suppose I shouldn't really have had to come here to realize just how incredibly sad this is. This is a community that's pretty much just gone. This guy over there packing his belongings. I kind of want to cry.
I spent quite a long time driving around the town trying to get to a good place to fly my drone as close to the volcano as possible. I made a few attempts and I got some of the footage that was on my wish list. For example, how the lava wall is performing much better than I had ever given it credit for. But ultimately, I couldn't find a safe way to get any closer to the epicenter of the eruption. As I drove around the town searching for my next spot to fly, I started to notice that the same car was passing me by every few minutes. I then noticed the blue lights on the top of it. It's definitely the police. I made another flight from the route of the lava field from one of the previous eruptions that happened the closest to the town. I was nervous as I filmed the area with the occasional peep of a smoke detector running out of batteries ringing in the background. And as I was flying back, the peep turned into screams of my gas meter. It indicated low oxygen levels, so I rushed out of there. As I was heading back down, I passed the police car again. And this time, the search and rescue teams were with him. Before long, they caught up with me and drove beside me and flagged me down. I really thought I'd done something wrong.
Já, hörðu.
Já, við vorum bara að spá hvort það væri í slökkvilið eða hver það væri að koma inn.
Já, einmitt. Ég fekk sem sagt leyfi frá almannavarnir til að koma gegn því að ég væri með svona talstöð og það vildi bara svo til að ég hafði aðgengi að svona talstöð.
Þú með gasgrímu á þér?
Ég er með 2 grímur og allan pakka.
Já, við vorum bara að kíkja á þetta.
After clearing that up, I asked them how could I get as close as possible to the volcano, and they told me just to go to the control center and ask for an escort to the mines. Also I did, and before I knew it, I was in the front of a police car with a fantastic police officer.
Sem ekki aldrei verið í lögreglubíl á þér?
Að þetta sé fyrsta skipti?
Ég meini fram í, sko.
And this is where it dawned on me just what an amazing and difficult operation this all is. I did not know this, but my radio was broadcasting my every move. On the way to the mine, the police officer was not sure she was in the right place, so she radioed the control room and asked if we were in the right spot. They were able to pinpoint us both and tell us we had made it as far as possible. This was my best chance to get the drone footage of the erupting craters. I have rarely, if ever, felt as nervous. I had all my content on that drone from today, and I was about to fly over molten lava to an erupting volcano. As I flew ever closer, my remote started complaining about signal interference. I stuck my hands in the air and I stood on top of a rock just so I could push it a little bit closer. But ultimately, this was as close as I was going to get. But on my way back, I spotted some scary-looking lava rivers. These pools are monstrous, and they are hidden within the lava fields. And this is a good reminder that you should not walk on the lava fields. The smoke from the burning shrubs filled the air with a strong smell, and this was getting enough for me. I don't care about the drone at this point, but I'll be damned before I lose the content I spent so much effort obtaining as well as the valuable time of a patient police officer. As we were heading back from the mine, the police officer told me about a time working in Grindavik and how devastating she found the whole situation. And even though I made it all the way to Grindavik and had a police escort, I still never really saw the eruption with my own eyes. The initial idea for this video and the reason I went through all this trouble was to show you the tiny part of Iceland that is affected by the state of emergency.
The global media makes it sound like Iceland is about to explode. State of emergency. Yes, there is a state of emergency. Here. This is a very small part of the island. You're perfectly safe to come to Iceland. You just don't come here. And I do realize this is a do as I say, not as I do moment. I'm close to the airport now and just want to show you this perspective. This is the affected area. Don't go there. Look what a tiny speck of the island this is.
I am a small-time creator creating videos as a hobby for tourists researching their trips to Iceland. I am not in this exclusive club of press pass holders. I did get to borrow one for one afternoon after making a considerable effort obtaining it. If you're a small-time content creator like me, or just want to share some of the footage, or keep it for yourself, then you're free to download it and use it any way you want. I have put a link in the description of the raw 4K footage of all my drone shots. All I ask is that if you do make content, please tag my video as the source of your content in the description, so that anyone who uses it understands where it came from. You don't need to add my name to the content itself in the video unless you want to, and I have not watermarked it. And if you can afford it, consider donating something to the search and rescue teams in Iceland. But I hope this content will help someone tell a story that matters to them, about Iceland or the construction workers building this incredible wall or the town of Grindavik, which I hope from the bottom of my heart will eventually recover from this natural disaster.
I want to give a huge shout out to my favorite volcano hunter, Vanessa Dahl. When she heard that I needed that expensive detector, she did not hesitate to buy me 20 cups of coffee on Buy Me a Coffee. I will forever appreciate it, Vanessa. And to all of you who pitched in on Buy Me a Coffee, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Without you, I would not be here. Have a great trip.